YouTube. How's everyone doing? Jags the Riches, James Peters. Thank you all so much for your time. Off-season mode, and like I mentioned, we are starting to get into those dark days where it is just a lot of, kind of waiting for something to break. And when it's the Celtics and Brad Stevens, you never can get too comfortable. All of a sudden, you'll be taking a damn afternoon nap and you'll wake up to a Malcolm Brogdon trade and a shitload of tweets and Bobby blowing you up, and you have no idea what the hell's going on. So you can never get too comfortable. But at this point, guys, we're essentially waiting for a KD trade. That's never going to happen until the season. We're waiting for, I think the Boston Celtics to add an additional big man. And that's pretty much it. We're just pretty much waiting for the roster to round out and wait for basically countdown to the actual season starting back up. So today's video is actually going to be another one of the season reviews. I did the Jason Tatum one already. That was about a week ago, where I just went into a full recap of his 2021-2022 season and just my thoughts on it, and the stats, performance, and just, pretty much a review. And today, of course, who are you going to follow it up with but Jaylen Brown? And I mean, Jaylen Brown, to me, before we really get started, he is one of those guys that I love. The reason I have such a special relationship with Jaylen, and you'll know exactly what I mean. Jaylen is one of those guys for me that I was high on him from the beginning, and I was like talking shit. You remember, guys, I'm in the South. I'm in Florida, so not a lot of Celtics fans around me. So I was selling him, and no one was buying. Nobody would believe me. No one was buying. They thought I was full of shit. And then year after year, he slowly gets better, just constant improvement. Bubble year, 20 points a game. Still, that wasn't good enough. And then he follows it up with what you would probably say is his breakout campaign, even though the end of that bubble year into the playoffs and then so on has pretty much been, where he's elevated his game to where he's now, a top 25 player in the league and, an all-star and everything else. But it's just when you have those guys that you invest so much into trying to make others see what you see, and then finally it eventually pays off to where it's now undeniable, you just kind of feel vindicated. So who is Jaylen Brown, guys? 25 years old. You could say he's a wings, 2 or 3, can play several positions. 6'6", 225, maybe somewhere in that ballpark. He's been in the league now 6 total seasons, all with the Boston Celtics. Of course, just like Tatum, he was the number 3 overall pick. He is a one-time All-Star. He was on the All-Rookie team. He has been to 4 ECFs, 1 finals run. And of course, if you actually get technical, guys, forget the year before last, he didn't play in those playoffs where we were swept or gentlemen swept by the Nets. So in the years he's been available, which is actually 5, not 6 playoffs, 4 of the 5, he went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So another, feather in the cap for him. But this past season, 66 total games, he averaged right at just below 24 points a game at 23.6, 6.1 rebounds, 3.5 assists, which was a career high, while shooting 47.3% from the field goal and 35.8% from the 3. Now, you did hear me mention the All-Star, just the one-time All-Star. And of course, that came the season before last. And he was one of those guys that you could definitely say was, mentioned as an All-Star snub this past year. A lot of people, believe that he should have got the actual one of the 2, I think it was 2 spots that actually went out. And as you see, guys, I just basically have up everything I went over right there. Past season stats right here, 23.6, 1 All-Star right there, all rookie accomplishments. And if you look right here is pretty much his career. And as I mentioned, the bubble year right here, that was that 1920 year where we got beat by the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, where he averaged 20 points a game. And then after that, he followed it up with the 2021 campaign, which was the season he made his All-Star appearance, averaging 24.7 points, 6 rebounds, 3.4 assists. And then again, this year was another incredible performance. He actually played in the most games he's played in since the 18-19 season at 66 games. He actually, again, second highest point total of his career at 23.6. I mean, Jaylen Brown, to me, is just, he's one of those guys that is the true definition of a 1B, like not a number two. He is a 1B, right? I think that he has been doubted his entire career. If you all remember from, I mean, the time he was drafted the third, people were pissed at that. And I mean, it's just been, like I said, a continued battle for a lot. I know a lot of us Celtics fans have continued try to, tell people about this guy. And now, even now, it's like, you know, he doesn't make an all-star team. There's a gentleman, his name is, it's D-Flow Hoops. Shout out to you, D-Flow. I was recently watching one of his videos. In fact, let me get the title of it while I'm talking. But it was one of his recent videos about the Boston Celtics. It's the Boston Celtics cause concerning problems in 22-23. Excellent video. And in that video, he actually says that Jaylen Brown is the best second option in the NBA. And that had me spinning for a second, because it's like, well, shit, is he wrong? I mean, this past season, was he wrong? Because you immediately jump to like the Anthony Davises of the world. Well, he didn't play. And then it's like, well, Kyrie, well, he didn't play. And then it's like Harden and Embiid, that how many games did they really play together? So it's, to me, it's like, Zach LaVine, Devin Booker, Jaylen Brown. Like, of course, there's probably a few that are slipping my head right now, but I think without question, he is in the discussion as one of the best second options in the entire world, and of course in the NBA. And to me, he is the perfect example of what a 1B is. He is a guy that can take over any game, any night. He could, be the leading scorer. He can absolutely shut the damn gym down. He is spectacular. He is an athletic freak. He has continued to improve on his game to now where he is a 3-point shooting, slashing. I mean, he's a two-way. I can continue. You don't need me to sell you on what his abilities are. Once he tightens up his handles a little bit, and I mean, he'll be right where he needs to be. And the two guys that actually made it over him were DeJounte Murray and LaMelo Ball. So let me know, do you think he was snubbed this year, or do you think those guys deserved it? I mean, I could see an argument either way, but looking at some of his accomplishments in the regular season, guys, he had 2 triple doubles. Remember, Tatum didn't have any, as many incredible accomplishments as he had this season, did not have a triple double. But Jaylen had 2 triple doubles, which was on the 8th of January against the New York Knicks. He had 22 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. And he would follow that up on the 7th of April against Milwaukee with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists. He would have 11 double-doubles. He had 17 games where he scored 30 or more points, including 2 40 or more point performances. And then on the 2nd of January, so to start off 2022, he would score 50 points against the Orlando Magic. He would also have 11 rebounds, 3 assists. He went 19 for 29 from the field, 5 for 10 from the three. And then if you actually look, and what a coincidence, and that around the time the energy is about to shift, tweet came out, and I mean, wow, who would have thought? Who would have thought then, when that tweet came out, that his damn ass is predicting the future? I mean, that aged so brilliantly, didn't it? But looking at some of his playoff performances, he had several 30-plus point performances throughout, and I would probably venture to say that his best game was probably in the ECF against Miami. I think it was game 3 where he scored 40 points. He had 9 rebounds. He was 4 for 20 from the field and 5 for 9 from the three, I believe. Now, if you look at how he opened up, and remember, if you stuck with us throughout the playoffs, especially over on Celtic Corner, I continued to say that Jaylen has just been Mr. Consistency throughout the damn playoffs. It just seemed like every game, like he was scoring, 22. It was just a very solid stat line and performance from him on both sides throughout. He opened up against Brooklyn, averaging 38.8 minutes a game. He would score 22.5 points, 5.3 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 2.5 steals, 49% from the field. He shot 21% from 3, so not the best shooting performance, but the Celtics would sweep the Nets. In the second series against the Bucks, he would have right at 37.3 minutes, but he again averaged 22 points, 7.3 rebounds, 3.6 assists. He shot 47.7% from the field, 43.8 from the three. Eastern Conference Finals against Miami, 38.9 minutes, and he would average would be his playoff high, 24.1 points, 7.1 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 49.9% from the field, 40.4 from the three, another great shooting split. Now, if you look at the finals, right at 39 minutes, he would average 23.5 points, 7.3 rebounds, 3.7 assists, while shooting 43% from the field, 34% from the three. Thank you for bearing with me. I love to throw out my numbers, and again, Jaylen Brown to me is just, you hear about the disrespect, the underappreciation. I think it was LeBron when he picked him in the All-Star game, talked about him being underappreciated. You've heard my man Johnny with the tweet that went viral about him being disrespected. And I think that it's basically what I've been saying about him continuing to be doubted. Like, no matter what this man continues to do, or what we see with our own two eyes, or what the numbers say, I mean, do you really not think that Jalen could not go to several other teams and be a number one and put up some badass numbers? I mean, this guy is already a number two behind Tatum, who's a guy that's averaging over 27 damn points a game, right? And he's still averaging basically in the mid-20s. I mean, like I said, he is a two-way star, one of the top 25, top 20 players in the world. He's continued to get better and just take a huge step basically year to year. And I would say the sky is still the limit for this man. He just turned 25 years old, just going into his 7th season. He's hungry. He's motivated. They just went on a finals run. He was the damn clear best player for our team in the finals. I mean, he's got a few things to work on, guys, and he will be right there. Like I said, I want to see him tighten up the handles a little bit, maybe some ISO tweaks here and there. But, I mean, otherwise, there's no critiques, no shit talking from me. I absolutely love Jalen. I hope that the damn man retires a Celtic, that his damn jersey gets, they need to lock his ass in a room like they did DeAndre Jordan if he even thinks about leaving. See, I am not, and nor have I ever been on this whole break up the Jays bullshit. I've been one of the people, as many of you have, fighting the good fight back in, I think, January or whenever the whole Kendrick Perkins and Tatum shit happened. I made a full video on that, basically saying, like, y'all aren't going to be happy till you break these two up. I don't get it. Why does it matter who the hell is better? Why? Like, who the hell cares? They both play for us. Like, they're on the same damn team. Like, does it really matter who's? If Tatum scores 20 and Jalen scores 25 and they win a championship, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to really remember that detail as I'm jumping around, like, celebrating. Come on, guys. So then, of course, when Scalabrine and the rest of the silly asses and the whole KD bullshit came up, we need to trade Jalen for Kevin Durant. Let's trade the 25-year-old ascending star for the 35-year-old guy who's had a history of major injuries recently. And I love KD. I think he's one of the greats. I think he's right up there as arguably the second best player in the world now when healthy. I mean, it's Kevin Durant. Like, he's, you know what I mean? But he's 34. He'll be 35. I mean, talk about his injuries in the last several years. You know what I mean? I think that is why he never got to the number one player in the world spot, because it's like, as LeBron came down, he was injured, and then Giannis all of a sudden shoots up. So it's kind of one of those things, like, you don't trade a guy who you could argue Jalen's not even in his prime yet. You could literally argue that if you wanted to, right? He's just turned 25. Imagine Jalen from 27 to like 31, 32, like that 5-year stretch. Think of the player and the fact that we will have both Jalen and Jason going into that time frame. We will have Jalen, Jason, Rob, all of those damn boys are in the exact same age group and will be ascending into their true prime of their careers together with a shitload of Eastern Conference finals and a finals run and all-star this and all other accomplishments behind them, guys. You don't break this damn team up. That is absolute blasphemy. And the fact that you remember I said it going into the offseason, I was like, oh man, finally we won't have to listen to that shit. And I was so wrong. A week later, it was freaking Kevin Durant. And of course, the break up the Jays started again. And that's when the disrespect tweet and all that, blah, blah, blah. But again, um, I'm a huge fan of the Boston Celtics. I'm a huge fan of Jaylen Brown. I love his story. I love everything the man stands for. I love the fact that his ass predicted the damn future with that tweet, and that he has continued to been just the perfect example of a professional. And that he has continued to improve every single year to the point where, he went from a guy that people didn't even think deserved to be the third overall pick to now he's, like I said, one of the best in the world, a top 25, two-way star player. So it's like, shout out to Jalen. The only criticism I have about him is the fact I haven't been able to get that damn The Energy is About to Shift t-shirt from his Juice website. It's been sold out for months. So other than that, guys, Jags to Riches, James Peters, thank you all so much for your time. We've literally gone up like over 130 subs the last like 2.5, 3 weeks. We just hit 500. Now we're already over 600. To all the new subscribers, thank you all so much. I appreciate you more than you could ever know. Again, guys, I hope you have an excellent conclusion to your week, a fantastic weekend. Take care, guys. Thank you for your time.